folks, it's Ben. I'm here with a new toy. That's all it is, really. It's a diesel heater. We're here in my quanset. It's January thaw, so it's actually kind of nice in here right now. In fact, it's 35 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's what, 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. And I wanted something that could give me some heat in the wintertime when it's really cold. I'm working on my benches or at the island here, and it's impossibly cold. I don't like to be in here when it's so cold, so I'm hoping this can change that for me a little bit. So let's just gently cut open the top. These are all made in China, I believe, from the same plant. They get labeled different things. I bought this one on Amazon. It's 150 bucks delivered, and it came UPS out of Ontario to me in Alberta. There we go. And let's take a peek inside and see what we get. So here's what we get to see. We got the cap and yeah, some handles. So I think I'm gonna put this on the ground and we'll see if we can lift it up, put it on the bench. Looking up by the handles. Oh, it slides right out. No dangles. That doesn't seem very stable. There's a box underneath with all my parts, I guess. Inside the box, what it was sitting on was a box of accessories. Now I did, in addition to the heater, I bought this guy, which will come into roll later. It is, it's an exhaust skin. It says it's a portal that lets me drill a hole and install it. It lets me go through my wood wall without hopefully burning it down. So we'll get into that hopefully when we get into mounting this thing. It's pretty cool. We have some blue plastic over that and the remote control on off, or their levels of heat is my understanding. And that's the heat exchanger. So there'll be hot air coming out of that. 2 fuel gauges. So there you go. Less than 20% add diesel. Okay. Tough tools, half the price. Sure thing. And then let's check out, and then here's our battery hookup, which is just slightly cut down the tape here. So what we have in the box is this guy. Install it onto exhaust pipe as shown in the diagram. Okay, so it's an insulator for that and 2 clamps for it. We have, I believe this is the exhaust tube. So that'll be covered up. We have some more clamps. One of these is probably for the big vent here, and then for other stuff. We have a muffler mounting kit. And then we have a big tube. Oh, there's something in the tube. An air filter of some kind? Not sure. Got a big tube for that. And then we have this guy. So, yay, I'm not crazy. I was going through and there's an intake pipe. They just have it inside the heat out pipe. So. Done with a quick read through for the manual. It's kind of written in a, this is what it looks like. And then here's the troubleshooting scenarios. Read them all and you'll kind of know what you're getting into. The biggest thing they're worried about is if you mount it outside that you're not intaking into your air exchanger the exhaust that you're generating. But since we're going to have this in the building and exhaust out, I'm not overly worried about that. On the bottom, we do have 2 things. I've heard about where the fuel nozzle and the air intake are really close to each other, and then the exhaust port that's right there. So we'll connect our 2 pipes to that. So when we mount it, we'll have to leave provisions for that stuff coming out. That's kind of in the design thing here. We're going to pop these guys. Come with it. Probably had to take the lid off. So we'll just set that aside. Here's the basics of it. You have a fuel tank, which holds 5 liters, so a little over a gallon. Your fuel pump, which is what we'll have to prime, and it's just a 12-volt thing. It's a clicker pump, so it will be click, click, click. So then we have our brain plug there. Here's our big heater module, and yeah, that might be fuel going in, and I guess air going in. And then just a little, looks like a little serial bus up to the screen there. But not a lot to it, really. Got the seal off of it. Should have some screws and some metal, obviously. So there's our 1 set of gaskets, and here's our pipe going through, and that's it for the box tonight. But I'm guessing this is the insulated portion. They're using an air gap for an insulation here. So this would be the part actually bolts. You'll have to drill a hole this big, plop this through. That may get you caught up. I thought of a couple of different ways while I was out doing stuff that maybe I should just put two 2x4s across the top of my chest here and attach them to the windowsill. So that's what I did. These are attached to the windowsill, and then the rest of the weight just lays on this toolbox, and that's how that's set up there. And I made sure the distance was appropriate so that we could put screws in either leg just appropriately like that. And that leaves the center of our machine open to just dangle right there. I then took my exhaust tube and kind of just dry fit it and find out where my hole would need to be. And I drilled a little pilot hole, then went on the outside with a hole saw and cut through my masonite and plywood and then installed that. I didn't clamp it down with another back clamp. I just used wood screws. So it's screwed into the wood there. It still has air gap, that air gap hole through all the material. So it should in theory work, but we're gonna keep an eye on it anyway. And so once this was installed, I installed the pipe. And with that, you get the two clamps here, this clamp, and then don't forget this sock thing they give you, this asbestos sock. We'll see how that works to kind of keep things cool. I think I needed it more down towards the wood, obviously, than up here where it's mostly metal. And then they give you this slot right here that lets you get in there with a screwdriver so you can tighten down the exhaust and also tighten down the inlet if it'll focus on it. Why would we want to do that? There we go. So those are in, and then I use just a zip tie on the intake to keep it from dangling in the cobwebs, right? And then once all that was actually in, then I actually dropped, right now I just set 2 screws in, one on each side, to hold the unit down. And then, you know, once everything kind of works out and we're not overheating anything, then we can maybe set it in stone. Now I took the power cables, which are just 12 volt DC. They don't have to touch so hard, man. And I just wired them together, used some wire nuts on that. Nobody's dangling out here. To these clamps I happen to have from a battery charger. They're pretty beefy clamps. I'm actually kind of pleased with them. So this will work out fine temporarily. So it is hooked up now, and the screen did turn on. I haven't done any of that cool MSMR stuff yet though. According to this, manual operation of the pump is to hold these 2 buttons left and right down for 3 seconds. And a little gear pump should show up. And you have to keep holding it, I guess. So that's why I haven't put the cover back on, is I wanted to watch the fuel pump prime, and I want to watch it get to the bottom of the boiler. So we can see it there. Okay. So that's manually primed. Alrighty, that's easy enough. Let's try turning it on. Okay, so I just long pressed this 2 seconds. It's now showing. One thing I did learn is that to change the heat, you use your arrows, and they're backwards from the display. Yeah, I can understand where this is confusing. So if you go this way, it goes to 3, that way to 4. Fuel pump's running. I could probably put the cover on at this point. So it's getting quite a bit warmer. I'm about to fire up my heat gun, so I should have done this beforehand, but whatever. So it is set for level 4 heat. But one thing got like, holy crap, on the initial startup, my exhaust is getting hot, obviously, and you can see it coloring, and then all the smoke, but it's actually coming from the insulation that I put over the exhaust pipe and not the wood, which I'm feared of, right? So we'll grab some temperatures and see how things are, but the air coming out is really nice. So we're 12 minutes in. That's the timer, I presume. And everything seems to be just fine. It's really hot air coming out. It really makes you want to kind of build an enclosed space. And yeah, just to have this blow on you while you're doing stuff would be fantastic. When you put the cover on it, reduces the fuel pump noise significantly. Like it's running now, but you'd hardly tell. And there are your fuel gauges, which will be convenient with the light behind it during the day. The air intake is doing what air intake does, taking air. And I've been keeping an eye on the exhaust temps, but like it's not radiating much. Like this is actually still quite cold. And it even has a viewport to your connection, that's nice. And then measuring the felt there, it depends on where you hit. There's a 207, 208 when you get out to the ends of it there. And like the wall's still at 30. It's a little warmer. And then the socket itself is fairly cool because that's the cold side of it. No, that should be the hot side. But it's also a shiny surface and those don't get great temperature. So let's go outside and take a look at the exhaust and see how it's doing. Here we are outside where I was yesterday, drilling the hole and getting this thing in here. I can see why they would put a muffler on it. It's kind of annoying, but I can't really hear it in the shop, so no big deal. The unit's right there on the other side of the window. Temperatures probably aren't going to tell me anything, probably because it's so shiny. Yeah, it says it's cold. That says it's, the area right around it's going to be 37, 42, so nothing crazy. But what we actually need to do is, instruments are fine, but we also probably ought to go in there and just kind of feel. So be careful, right? But like coming out, it's not like holy crap. The wall is cold, and this is actually cold. And the whole point is to create an air break between the hot and the side of the building, which is actually quite hot when you get close to it. But the air break hopefully will keep it cool enough that we don't burn our building down. And this is masonite, so it's crap anyway. But so far so good on this. This will require more long-term watching on, but it's not hot right now, which is perfect. I just need it to not burn down, please. So that's working okay. And the fuel is clear, like it's got good combustion. So after about 21 minutes of uptime, minus a couple minutes for just startup, hottest temperature I could get off the exhaust using my kind of reflective temperature gauge is about 200 degrees, which my understanding is it goes a little hotter than that, and I would concur, but best as I can read on that. But the area around the building is nice. And then I got about 120, 130 coming off the vent here, which is fantastic. So we'll go with that. If you folks have any questions on this heater, feel free to ask. I did buy this on Amazon and the heater coupling on Amazon. Everything else was included. And the gun came from Canadian Tire. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them, like you've got one and you love it or you hate it. I know reviews are mixed. It either works out of the box or doesn't. Seems what happened. So it looks like we got lucky here and we got a runner. And please subscribe to our channel, Red Barn Homestead. I'll catch you next time. Cards are up now probably, so it's not, I thought the ticking would be worse, but I think we can totally film YouTubes. The YouTubes, you know, here we are, and then I'll probably shut it off with the bench, and that's probably temperature up and down. Hey, how convenient is that?